You are listening to WTUZ Radio Podcast. All right, welcome to WTUZ Radio Podcast, and today is December 26, 2020. All right, so what we're going to discuss today is the topic, Stop Cooning. Who is the modern day coon? Now, interestingly enough, when I, decided to do this topic, it was really under the guise of seeing so many melanated, aka Black people, take on different roles and how they're portrayed in media, whether it be reality TV, whether it be in music or movies. So, reality TV, the angry Black woman, the snapping of the neck, the ready to argue and fight, no matter what her education status is, no matter where her lot in life is, whether or not she's a doctor, whether or not she's married to a doctor. Same goes for music. We all should know by now music, whether it be rap, gangster rap, etc., or in films, always playing either the prostitute, the whore, the drug dealer, the pimp. Okay, so originally that's what I wanted to discuss on how the melanated people are portrayed in media and how melanated people are willingly taking on the role of the coon and, further perpetuate that image. So, we already know that. We see it in media quite well. No matter how many times we go over it, we see people defend that type of behavior. Most recently in rap, with the music that's being put out, and it is coming back to haunt the youngins with so many young rappers that have been gunned down in violence based on the lifestyle that they chose to continue to lead. A lot of these rappers supposedly and allegedly coming from the streets, affiliated with gangs, getting these record deals, making music, but still living that life of gang violence, and it catches up with them. And then on the flip side of that coin, what we are seeing portrayed is the bad bitch. So meaning this bad bitch portraying herself as a Black melanated woman is using her body to get the come up. All right. So meaning how to get over on men, how to use men for money, how to get the bag, rather that be stripping on the pole, rather that being finding a hustler, a player, a baller to get that money. And to the point of, we had folks literally recently defending a song called WAP, right? And meaning the abbreviations of WAP, y'all should know by now, is wet ass PU, and then it ends with the Y. So I was going to come on and discuss that. So here's the ironic thing. I'm chilling, minding my business like I normally do. And when I get into a topic, I start research. I say, you know what? Let me officially look up the definition of coon. All right. So I said, let me go back to the Etymology dictionary. Here we go, family. Coon, noun. Popular abbreviation of raccoon, 1742 American English. It was the nickname. Now, this is what totally, family, is going to change this particular topic on this subject. Okay? Because I was going in the one direction, which I, talked about and described. But child, let me tell you that when the ancestors tell me to move a certain way, that's the way I move. Because once I saw this, I said, okay, I got it. I know which way this particular podcast needs to go. This is important information that we need to know where this particular terminology came from. So, all right, popular abbreviation of raccoon, 742 in American English. It was the nickname of the Whig Party members in U.S. from 1848 to 60, as the raccoon was the party's symbol, and it also had associations with frontiersmen, which stereotypically wore raccoon skin caps, which probably ultimately was the source of the Whig Party sense. The party's 1840 campaign was built on a false image of wealthy William Henry Harrison as a rustic frontiersman. The now insulting U.S. meaning black person was in use by 1837, said to be from barracoon by 1837, from Portuguese, barraca, slave depot, pen, or rough enclosure for black slaves in transit in West Africa, Brazil, Cuba. All right, so it's interesting that it went from being what they said the Whig Party picked up the symbol. They used it from 1848 to 1860. I'm guessing they're saying that that's when the Whig Party came into existence. So now, okay, it jumped from them taking that from black people being slaves in the West African, Brazilian, Cuba trade. I don't know about that etymology. Okay, but anyhow, if so, no doubt this was boasted by the enormous popular blackface minstrel act Zip Coon, George Washington Dixon, which debuted sorry, y'all, I'm tongue-tied, in New York City, 1834. But it is perhaps older, one of the lead characters in the 1767 colonial comic opera, The Disappointment, is a black man named Raccoon. All right, so that's more like it. So them throwing the West African, Brazil, Cuba tie-in, I don't know about that. That's kind of throwing you off. So now they're going all the way back to 1767 in an opera about a black man named Raccoon. Okay, so it says also in Western U.S., a person generally, especially a sly, knowing person, 1832. Coon's age is 1843. Americans, English, probably an alteration of British, a crow's age. Crows are famously long-lived, compared Greek, long-lived, literally having 3 times the age of a crow. But raccoons are not. Gone coon, 1839, was used of a person who is in a very bad way or a hopeless condition. Okay, so y'all probably saying, so Rhonda, so what? What stopped me dead in my track, family, was just the mention of coon coming from really members of the Whig Party, right? So that sparked my interest because as those of you who are familiar with the series that we do on the Truth Uncompromised show, we did 2 entire series, and one we're not even completely finished with. We're going to started back up in January. The first one we talked about Black nobility. Okay, so we went through the entire European kings and queens who are really the origins of those kings and queens are Black slash aka melanated slash Swathi. Okay, so we went through that entire lineage. And then the second series is The Real Pilgrims, the true story of immigrants coming to America, which we have not completed that series. We're probably 40 something shows in. All right. And we're right up to the point of the Civil War. And we also are going to dive a little bit more into the American Revolutionary War in that series. And that series also speaks on and gives the receipts and the proof on whom was really the slaves, all right, which really it was about indentured servant contracts. And guess what? White folks were the indentured servants as well as melanated Black, aka Swathi Europeans. Yes. So slavery was definitely not what they are speaking of, how they're teaching it in school. Slavery consisted of folks coming to the Americas on these indentured servitude contracts that are Blacks and whites. Very, very little Africans hit the shores of the Americas as slaves. All right. So you can check out that series on YouTube, Truth Uncompromised. And again, that series is called The Real Pilgrims, the true story of immigrants coming to America. All right. So just kind of building on what that particular series was talking about and speaking about, that even the founding of the 13 colonies was founded by who? Melanated Black kings. Gonna repeat that again. The first 13 colonies in the Americas was founded by Black, Swathi, European kings. So that means Kings George them, the Stuarts, aka King James them, are Swathi Black. All right. So just a quick source, and we talk about that in that series. You can look up literally, and this book is a collector's item. If you check out the series on YouTube, you're going to hear me reference this particular source a lot. I highly recommend that you get this book because it is a collector's item. It's an easy read. He does an excellent job with the layout, and he also provides his sources. Okay. And if you are a true researcher, you even take his particular sources and cross-reference check on who he say his resources are to validate that that is indeed the case. And I have, and he does check out. And I am able to use this source as I'm referencing other sources and going through other particular material. It ties back to what he is saying. So this book is called The Negro Question, Part 6, The 13 Black Colonies by Lee Cummings. He lays it out very clear. He provides his sources on the Black Swathi kings of Europe are the founders, and I don't even say founders because I cannot, with a clear consciousness, say that they founded something when it was actually theft and war, okay, on the indigenous Swathi Black indigenous Indians of the Americas, okay? All right, but nonetheless, the 13 Black colonies were established by Black swarthy kings. All right. So, who's this Whig party? What is this whole deal about the COON, the word COON, coming from the establishment of the Whig party? All right. So let me get to the Whig. Just a second here, family. Let me pull this up. All right, so this is an easy one, y'all. Y'all should be able to get this stuff yourself for sure, for sure. Let me see here. Let me pull up this source, y'all. Hold on a second. All right, let's get to the Whig Party. Okay. Whig Party. Now, this should be easy and simple, as I said before. This is simply just pulling from Wikipedia, all right? But, as always, when you're doing research, when you're using, quote, quote, conventional history, what's taught in school, they always give you clues of the real history, okay? And always as before, they do in this simple explanation or origins of Whig Party, and this is off of Wikipedia. The Whig Party was a political party active in the middle of the 19th century in the United States. Alongside the slightly larger Democratic Party, it was one of the two major parties in the United States. During the late 1830s, the 1840s, and the early 1850s, part of the second party system. All right, and the second party system, it's saying historians and political scientists use second party systems to periodize sorry, y'all, the political party system operating in the United States from about 1828 to 1854. After the first party system ended, the system was characterized by rapidly rising levels of voters' interest beginning in 1828. All right. 4 presidents were affiliated with the Whig Party for at least part of their respective terms. Other influential, there you go, couple of days off, a sister is tongue-tied. Other influential party leaders include Henry Clay, Daniel Webster, William Seward, John J. Critter, and Truman Smith. We finna go over William Seward in a minute. Now, those of you that rock with us on Truth Uncompromised and you are following along with us on the series, The Real Pilgrim, the true story of immigrants coming to America, y'all already know who William Seward is. But we're going to give the WTUZ radio podcast family insight into who William Seward is, okay? And also notice the dates that they are saying the Whig Party was active, 1830s and 40s and early 50s, okay? Remember, slavery, quote, quote, slavery, didn't end until what, after the Civil War, 1865. So I want y'all to keep that in mind as we're going to show you and prove to you who William Seward is. All right, and he's just one. He's just one of the ones. Let's get into this. The Whigs emerged in the 1830s in opposition to President Andrew Jackson. We're going to get in on him a little bit too. Pulling together former members of the National Republican Party, the Anti-Masonic Party, and disaffected Democrats. Huh? What's the Anti-Masonic Party? The Anti-Masonic Party, also known as the Anti-Masonic Movement, was the first third party in the United States. It strongly opposed Freemasonry as a single issue party and later aspired to become a major party by expanding its platform to take positions on other issues. Okay? All right, so y'all should already know what that means. You should already know, if you're listening to material such as this, that Masonry or Masonic influence is very, very heavy in the United States and really across the globe. And I don't even want to say globe. Let me correct that. Across the world. But specifically in the United States, we can pretty much say that every president is in the Masonic order at a minimum, if not more than one order. Okay? Even the way the District of Columbia is laid out is tied to Masonic. All right? So let me just go back and read this. The Whigs emerged in the 1830s in opposition to President Andrew Jackson, pulling together former members of the National Republican Party, the Anti-Masonic Party, and disaffected Democrats. The Whigs had some weak links to the defunct feudalist party, but the Whig Party was not a direct successor to that party, and many Whig leaders, including Henry Clay, had aligned with the rival Republican Party. All right, so let's go back to the Feudalist Party. Okay, y'all, those that study even just typical history that they teach in school, forgive me, let me take a sip of water. Y'all even should know what the Feudalist Party is. That was the first political party in the United States under Alexander Hamilton. It dominated the national government from 1791 to 1801. It became a minority party while keeping its stronghold in New England, and make a brief resurgence by opposing the War of 1812. All right? Okay. So let's also say, because they also say that they align with the rival Republican Party. Who knew? Who knew? You mean to tell me a Democratic Republic Party? All right, let's take a snippet of that. The Democratic Republican Party, better known as the time under various other names, was an American political party founded by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison in the early 1790s that championed republicanism, political equality, and expansionism. All right. So, in the 1836 president election, 4 different regional Whig candidates received electoral votes. But the party failed to defeat Jackson's chosen successor, Martin Van Buren. Whig nominated William Henry Harrison, unseated Van Buren in the 1840 presidential election, but died just 1 month of his term. Harrison's successor, John Tyler, was expelled from the party in 1841 after clashing with Clay and other Whig Party leaders over economic policies such as the reestablishment of a national bank. All right, so before we go any further, so I'm only going to read a couple of more paragraphs of this, I want y'all to know why I just insisted on going in a different direction of the podcast on Stop Cooning, who is the modern day coon. And when I saw the etymology of what the word coon meant, and it was referencing the Whig Party, why I stopped and changed course. Because, family, let's go over who William Seward is. To listen to this episode in its entirety, go to anchor.fm/WTUZ radio. Again, that's anchor.fm/WTUZ radio. And the link is in the description. Thank you, and peace and love.